Assalamualaikum, hello there, I'm Shira Abang Mansour and you're watching TVS Nightline. The headlines. LCDA and CTR technologies in Berhad are encouraged to establish another IBS factory in the central region of Sarawak. 20,000 ringgit bounty to anyone with information on 6-year-old autistic boy ZAYN Ryan Abdul Matin's death. King Charles III has been diagnosed with cancer and has begun treatment. The Malaysian Crime Prevention Foundation (MCPF) of Selangor is offering a 20,000 ringgit bounty to anyone with information that could lead to the arrest of the murder suspect of 6-year-old autistic boy ZAYN Ryan Abdul Matin. Its Deputy Chairman, Datuk Seri Taivigan Arumugam, said this initiative has been agreed upon by the Chairman of MCPF Selangor, Tan Sri Jeffrey Chia.
Yang diumumkan oleh Datuk KP tadi, ZAYN Ryan yang didapati telah dibunuh. Berkaitan dengan kes itu, Selangor MCPF ataupun Yayasan Pencegahan Jenayah Negeri Selangor bersedia menawarkan ganjaran sebanyak ringgit Malaysia 20,000 kepada sesiapa yang boleh membantu memberi maklumat kepada polis Selangor untuk menangkap suspek-suspek dan boleh berjaya dituduh dengan jayanya, maka MCPF Selangor akan memberi tawaran ataupun ganjaran ringgit Malaysia 20,000 ringgit melalui PDRM Selangor.
He said this in a media conference at the Shah Alam Police Headquarters earlier today. ZAYN, an autistic 6-year-old boy, was reported missing at noon on December 5th of last year. He was found dead the next day near a stream about 200 meters from his home at Idaman apartment with injuries to his neck. Autopsy results revealed signs of self-defense wounds on the boy's body and also indicated that the cause of death was from injuries to the neck believed to be caused by strangulation.
The Land Custody and Development Authority (LCDA) and CTR technologies in Berhad are encouraged to establish another industrialized building system (IBS) factory in the central region of Sarawak. Premier of Sarawak, Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tunapeng, said this after launching the IBS factory in Kuching, as the vast distances to the northern areas of Sarawak, namely Limbang, Lawas and Miri, would pose a challenge in deploying building logistics. He added that such an endeavour would provide Sarawakians residing in the area with access to affordable housing thanks to the convenient nature of building houses through IBS.
Jadi saya cadangkan supaya dibina juga kilang dengan Datuk Amang Tenang di kawasan pertengahan Sarawak supaya kita dapat membekalkan komponen kepada kawasan-kawasan utara, khususnya di Bab Lawas Piring, Betulu, dan kita tahu kita sedang membangunkan Jepak di Betulu. Sudah tentu apabila kita membangunkan perkampungan baru di Jepak, kita akan menggunakannya guna pakai sistem ini supaya rumahnya lebih tahan dan lebih cantik.
He said this during a press conference after officiating the IBS factory earlier today. Earlier in his speech, Abang Johari requested LCDA to conduct a feasibility study to build another IBS factory in the central region of Sarawak.
Kita nak mula buat di Semeriang, Kita nak mula dua dekat belakang Butal. Kita mula di raya tu antara Bako dengan Butal. Kita mula di kawasan Asajaya. Kita nak mula di Kabung. Kita dah mula di Matu. Kita dah mula di Sibo, Miri, Kapit. Kapit dah ada juga kawasan untuk perkampungan. Jadi kalau tu berjaya, jadi mungkin LCDA mula buat lagi kilang di tengah-tengah Sarawak. Kerana situ jauh logistiknya. Mungkin kita mula sama ada di Bintulu ataupun di Sibo, mungkin Bintulu, dan kita hantarlah di kawasan-kawasan yang kita buat rumah di kawasan bawah bandar.
In line with the Sarawak government's efforts to provide sufficient affordable housing for the people, the new industrial building system IBS factory can generate a maximum capacity of 600 housing units annually. Sarawak Deputy Premier Dato' Amar Wang Tengah Ali Hassan said the IBS factory is a joint venture between the LCDA and CTR Technologies Sdn Bhd. He emphasized that IBS is the preferred choice over conventional methods for building structures due to its efficiency.
King Charles III has been diagnosed with cancer and has begun treatment, Buckingham Palace said on Monday, sparking a flood of support from around the world. The 75-year-old who became king upon the demise of his mother, Queen Elizabeth II, on 8th of September 2022, has generally enjoyed good health, but the palace said that an issue of concern was noted during his recent hospital procedure for an enlarged prostate last week. However, Buckingham Palace did not elaborate on the type of cancer or its severity.
The palace added that the king remains wholly positive and looks forward to returning to full public duty as soon as possible. He had been advised by doctors to postpone public duties, although he would continue to undertake state business and official paperwork as usual. The shocking announcement sparked messages of support from world leaders and Londoners, with his estranged son, Prince Harry, saying he had spoken with his father and would visit him soon in the coming days.
Just found out, so it's quite devastating actually. Yeah, I didn't know about that. It's sad to hear. Sad to hear. I hope he's bless him.
I feel quite sad about it. I think it's interesting with all the news about him that it's not to do with kind of the prostate thing, and they've said it's kind of a different cancer. But hopefully they've caught it early and it will be a positive outcome.
While the royals usually closely guard details of their health, Charles has been open about his recent treatment. The palace added that the king had chosen to share his cancer diagnosis to prevent speculation and hope that it may assist public understanding for all those around the world who are affected by cancer.
The Sarawak government will be constructing a new water plant in Lande to boost the production capacity of the water supply throughout the city and nearby districts. State's Premier Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tunapeng said this was to meet the rising demand from both industries and the growing population.
Jadi di Kuching tu kita mengetatkan bekalan air yang lebih, bermakna kita merancangkan satu lagi treatment plant.
Yeah, to increase the capacity.
Increase capacity. Kerana Kuching dah pertama. Dan kita semua kita kurang air. Jadi di plan awal lah, dirancang lebih awal.
Meanwhile, Abang Johari stressed that the state government has consistently prioritized the development of the state and the welfare of its people over political agendas.
Ya, apa yang saya sebut tadi ialah kita di Sarawak tidak banyak politik. Kita gago, sibuk, saya dah langkah 1, langkah 2, langkah 3. Kita tu sibuk langkah malah rumah. Ngatur bekalan elektrik jalan raya. Yang saya sebut tadi ialah kami tu dalam kerajaan sibuk kena rakyat. Saya dah gago nak rakyat.
He spoke to reporters during a press conference after officiating the Industrialized Building System IBS at Demak Laut earlier today.
Japan's biotechnology company Chitose Group has rolled out its plans to expand its microalgae production facility in Sarawak, which is the Chitose Carbon Capture Central Sarawak or C4 Sarawak, from the current 5 hectares to 100 hectares. Chief Bioengineer of Chitose Engineering Group, Takanori Hoshino, said the expansion will serve as a benchmark towards achieving a sustainable circular economy in Sarawak's green agenda.
We have done this before, and we have been running our project in Sejinka site for a long time, and this is going to be the next step for that project.
It's Sejinka?
Yes, Sejinka. We have the so-called Chitose Carbon Capture Central there, which we use microalgae to harvest CO2 from the power plant. And we are going to expand the size of the facility to 100 hectares to get on site next. And for hopefully in the future, we are going to expand to more than that, like a couple thousand hectares here in Sarawak.
He said this to reporters after paying a courtesy call to the Premier Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tunopeng at his office on Tuesday. Commenting further, he said that microalgae production project in Sejinka is scheduled to commence operation by March.
We came to talk and discuss about our project, the microalgae project. And we basically agreed to start off as soon as possible at the get-on site, as Premier previously mentioned. So, well, we are very happy to collaborate together with the Sarawak government, and we have an opportunity in the Sarawak state. So hopefully we can show to the public our progress sooner.
When start?
Well, as soon as possible, but before the end of March, I would say.
The microalgae project, which began in 2020, is led by Japan's biotechnology company Chitose Group as the primary contractor for the microalgae research project in collaboration with Sarawak Energy Berhad and Sarawak Biodiversity Centre.
SEDC Energy earlier today announced their collaboration with Malaysia Rating Corporation Berhad, or MARC, for the much-anticipated Borneo Energy Transition Conference BETC 2024. The two-day conference, scheduled to take place in Kuching on February 26th to 27th, will serve as a pivotal gathering, bringing together visionary thought leaders, change makers, as well as industry experts on a platform for engaging dialogue and collaboration in the energy landscape of the region.
We have invited all the energy industry players, all the financial institutions, and of course, as co-organizer, MARC is also bringing in their partners, which is on talking about investment in ESG projects and industry in general. Our aim is so we have delegates from the energy industry, and then we have delegates from the financial industry. So we are putting everyone together so that investments into such projects, we have share our knowledge, share our experiences, so that everyone will have a better understanding of this whole how this industry works.
He said this after paying a courtesy visit to Sarawak Premier Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tunopeng at Wisma Bapa Malaysia earlier today. Also present was Malaysia Rating Corporation Berhad MARC Group Chief Executive Officer Dato' Jamaluddin Nasir. The visit underscores the strategic importance of collaboration and its potential impact on the energy sector in the region.
Ibrako Berhad and Fame International College earlier today inked an agreement to build a state-of-the-art campus in Trabuan Tranquility in Kuching. Deputy Minister of Public Health, Housing and Local Government, Datuk Michael Tiang Ming T, said the partnership will also positively impact the education sector in Sarawak in general, aside from potentially attracting investors to Kuching.
And today's signing ceremony is to see the perfect marriage between these two players, property development player and education player. This is very synergetic. It will definitely bring a lot of impacts, not only on education, also local economy, and bringing more people from outside to come to Kuching to invest. And that's what I believe.
He said this during the signing ceremony held at Ibraco Gallery, the North Bank, earlier today. He added the partnership is guaranteed to establish a world-class training and education system aimed at nurturing a generation of highly skilled and knowledgeable Sarawakians.
Digital hacking remains a major concern as it involves losses amounting to millions of ringgit on its victims. Deputy Minister of Public Health, Housing and Local Government, Datuk Michael Tiang, said, with the advancement of digital technology, it is becoming increasingly difficult for society to distinguish between what is true or false in the digital world.
So all this, we need some anchors. And the mainstream press like you are doing now, you're on now, is our anchor, our pillar. If anything happens, you can always check the mainstream news whether this is true or not.
He said this at a Chinese New Year dinner with the media in Cebu on Monday.
Kuching has witnessed a concerning uptick in dog bite incidents, raising alarms over suspected rabies cases, with 6 new cases reported just this week. Kuching South City Council MBKS Mayor Dato' Wee Hong Seng said 4 of the cases occurred at Tabuan Jaya commercial area today, while 2 bitten yesterday at Jalan Cawan, Kuching.
According to Wee, all 6 victims immediately sought treatment at the hospital, adding that the suspected rabid dog had been caught by the local council and has been sent to be tested for rabies. We also informed that the same dog has bitten at least 6 other people in the same period. Rabies is a highly lethal viral disease that poses a serious threat once symptoms manifest and no known cure exists at the moment. As such, we advise local residents to remain vigilant and keep their pets in the house compound and report any unusual behavior in animals to the relevant authorities.
Coming up right after the break, early incentive payment for civil servants on February 23rd. And Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim stresses good governance for economic development. Right here on TVS Nightline. Stay tuned. Welcome back. All civil servants in grades 56 and lower, including those under contract, will receive an early incentive payment of 2,000 ringgit on February 23rd. Meanwhile, pensioners and uniform bodies will receive 1,000 ringgit. And the matter was announced by Prime Minister Dato' Seri Anwar Ibrahim earlier today during the Finance Ministry's monthly assembly.
Bayaran insentif awal RM2,000 kepada semua penjawat awam grade 56 ke bawah, termasuk kelantikan kontrak RM1,000 kepada semua jabatan utama sektor awam dan RM1,000 kepada semua pesara kerajaan, termasuk veteran berpencen dan veteran tidak berpencen. Itu akan dibayar sekaligus 23 Februari.
Previously, it was announced in the 2024 budget that an early incentive payment would be made at the end of February to ease the burden of back-to-school preparations and preparation for Ramadan and Shawwal. The payment, he said, would be disbursed while waiting for the Public Service Remuneration System SSPA study to be finalized by year-end. Anwar added that the government's decisions and policies extended beyond the public sector, encompassing all sectors, including the disabled community, small rubber plantation owners, fishermen, and the less privileged.
Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim emphasised the importance of domestic policies in advancing the country's standing for improved economic management. He highlighted the need for the government, particularly the Ministry of Finance, to prioritise good governance to curb wastage and streamline development approval processes.
Jadi untuk keluarga Kementerian Keuangan, kita tak boleh lari daripada fokus yang sedemikian. Masalah-masalah yang kita hadapi, tetapi tugas kita ialah fokus tentang pengurusan ekonomi yang baik, yang mengelakkan ketirisan dan percepatkan proses kelulusan.
He was speaking at the Ministry of Finance's Staff Assembly earlier today. He continued by saying that the reforms are aimed at minimizing wastage and enhancing governance, and would empower the government to enhance assistance to the populace following the establishment of renewed confidence and a keen recognition of the welfare of the people. Meanwhile, he said the country needs sufficient fiscal space to ensure welfare and improve the standard of living of the people. Earlier, it was reported that the Madani government faced fiscal constraints due to national debt reaching 1.2 trillion ringgit, almost 65% of the gross domestic product.
Singapore's fintech sector amassed total funding of $2.2 billion in 2023, a 68% decline compared to 2022. According to a report issued by accountancy giant KPMG earlier today, deal activity also saw a sharp drop, halving to 189 in 2023 from the previous year. According to the report, the dampened investor sentiment can be attributed to geopolitical conflicts, a high interest rate environment, and a lackluster exit environment across regions. This prompted fintech investors to exercise caution and conserve their cash reserves throughout 2023. However, investors were optimistic about artificial intelligence (AI) performance. Total investment in Singapore's AI sector exceeded $480 million across 2023, including over $330 million in the second half, up 77% from the first 6 months. At least 8 people died and 80 were injured earlier today in a giant explosion at a firework factory in India that saw balls of flame soar into the sky. Footage on Indian television showed a tower of flame after the explosion at the firecracker plant, with dozens of ambulances sent and army helicopters called in to evacuate the wounded.
Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Mohan Yadav said reports of the explosion were very sad news, and said medics at burn units in nearby major hospitals had been asked to make necessary preparations. He added that at least 20 ambulances were at the site, with 50 more being sent to help those injured. One policeman said that the dead included those trampled during the panic to escape the raging flames. Kailash Chand Partey, a senior district official who is coordinating rescue efforts from the factory, said fire engines were battling the fierce blaze. He said around 200 to 300 people worked at the factory, but it was not known how many were inside at the time of the explosion. He further said at least 10 buildings around the complex where the blast happened have been damaged because of the intensity of the explosion. Explosions often occur in firecracker workshops in India. Many factories fail to stick to basic safety requirements and operate without permits. In 2019, at least 18 people were killed in a firework factory explosion in Batala in Punjab state, and another 10 were killed in the same year in Bhadohi in Uttar Pradesh.
The death toll from the central Chile wildfires reached 123 as emergency crews discovered more bodies in the aftermath of the fires that began 3 days ago. According to local reports, helicopters are dropping water on the blaze while residents, firefighters and the military worked swiftly to clear debris in Valparaiso and Vina del Mar, where homes were rapidly engulfed by fireballs, marking Chile's most severe natural disaster in years.
The report noted that the number of casualties was anticipated to rise as the cleanup and search for victims continue. Meanwhile, the Chilean National Disaster Prevention and Response Service reports a staggering 161 active wildfires spreading across the country. Chilean President Gabriel Boric has since declared a state of emergency as coastal communities like Valparaiso and Vina del Mar were engulfed in smoke, resulting in casualties. He added that many bodies have been scorched beyond recognition, but added that forensic workers would be taking samples of genetic material from people who have reported missing relatives.
Chinese chip makers are expecting to make the next generation smartphone processors as early as this year, despite the United States' efforts to curb their development of advanced technologies. In light of this, Semiconductor Manufacturing International Corp, SMIC, China's top chip maker, has put together new semiconductor production lines in Shanghai to mass-produce chips designed by Huawei.
The Financial Times reported that SMIC is aiming to use its existing stock of US and Dutch-made equipment to produce 5-nanometer chips. For the record, US companies are restricted by Washington from providing technology to SMIC without a special license, as its alleged work with China's military is considered a threat to American national security. Faced with these restrictions, the Chinese government has been investing heavily to develop a self-reliant semiconductor supply chain.
Dive into the love story of Don and Rachel in the heartwarming drama series Wedding Stone, specially crafted for this upcoming Chinese New Year, beginning February 14th at 9:30 p.m. exclusive on TVS. And see the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates both locally and internationally. More news headlines anytime, anywhere. Just head on to our official website at tvsarawak.my or follow us on our social media platforms. Those were the updates on TVS Nightline. I'm Shura Abang Mansor. Thank you for watching.